Now, before we get into the main course with all of the Nancy Pelosi, Taiwan, China stuff, I want to talk about probably the most evil female politician in the entire world, or maybe just the most outright evil politician, okay? Like, I know you got Xi up there at the top, and some people have some specifically misguided interpretations of what Putin's doing, okay? And I'm sure there's probably some smaller leaders in some smaller countries that, probably do some whack shit as well, okay? But of the most developed countries that are out there, I think that this one stands head and shoulders above everybody else because this bitch is just so catastrophically evil. Pelosi would be right up there, but the fact that she's, 82, 83 million years old, okay, she doesn't have much fucking longer out here, okay, and she's just a pawn in that entire fucking game. But this airhead, she makes me sick on a international level. This bitch is just evil and dumb and malevolent. She is the perfect storm, and that's why, alongside Justin Trudeau, the poster children of the World Economic Forum. But I seen this, and I just wanted to add this on top of this before we get into the China stuff, okay? So it loosely correlates, you can see. New Zealand Prime Minister urges China to condemn Russia's aggression against Ukraine. What are you, fucking retarded? How long did it take you to come to this conclusion? Oh, what happened over there in Ukraine? That's real bad, and you should condemn those actions. Okay, cool. Nice, timely fucking announcement there, stupid. Russia's only been in Ukraine for how many months now at this point? And then you just decide, hey, I've been hearing you guys have been scheming up to a couple of things, and I don't really much care for it. You're really disrupting all of our shape down here, and we'd really like to continue to trade with you, China, and continue our takeover. China's not going to condemn Russia for fuck all, you idiot, okay? You know why? They need Russia. They desperately need Russia. And Russia doesn't really need China, but they could use, the little boost in morale. They could use the trading partner because let's be honest. Okay, China, if you take a look at the numbers and you take a look under the hood, okay, for as much bloviation as they like to do and as much of a, emerging world power as a lot of people like to think that they are, okay, you take a look at some numbers that they have, the aging population, the fact that they're about to breach a zenith when it comes to their population and then drastically fall off of a fucking cliff because the average age is 50 something. They're an old population. Their infrastructure is total shit. Okay, and their economy is being held up by strings and duct tape. There's nothing to it. I've gone over this a ton, and that's why I'm not really paying that much attention to what China's on right now, because they're just doing all of the propaganda, full press propaganda when it comes to all of what they're putting out there so far, okay? And hell, if the coup heard around the world didn't take off in 2020 like it did, they might have invaded Taiwan by now. Maybe, potentially. So, okay, when it comes to Pelosi coming across the border here in the next, I think it's supposed to be tomorrow, shit's supposed to hit the fan. She's supposed to cross over, and I don't know who the fuck she's gonna have a drink with or whatever, but she's currently, in Singapore at the moment, doing the rounds there. She flew out last night or something like that. And there's been a lot of coverage when it comes to this because the CCP have been saying, don't go there, and then US is like, no, we have every right to send this old geriatric over there. She's been to Taiwan before, most notably in 1989 to stir the pot once again when it came to the People's Liberation Army running over that nice kindly gentleman in the middle of Tiananmen Square. She was one of the 3 congressmen that went over there. So China don't fucking forget when it comes to this stuff. So what will they ultimately end up doing? Because they announced, there's going to be repercussions if Pelosi goes over there and talks with our province. They think that they own Taiwan, a la Russia owns Ukraine, okay? But again, it's a little bit different, okay? From a 35,000-foot view, it looks pretty similar, okay? But Russia's not looking at taking over all of Ukraine, okay, maybe eventually, but at least right now they just want the Donbass region, okay, and a couple of other demands, okay? But Ukraine can continue to be Ukraine for right now, as opposed to what the CCP wants out of Taiwan, which is just complete absorption. And why do they want that? Probably because of Taiwan's manufacturing prowess. And like I was saying before with that stupid fucking buck-toothed idiot down there in Oceania, China needs resources. They need land. They need people to buy their cheap goods. Long and short of it, Russia's right there, okay? Instead of shipping it across the ocean, they can just throw it up there. The vast open wasteland that is most of Russia, okay? A lot of manufacturing opportunities in Russia. So if they can go ahead and make and link up once again to form a pretty big superpower, then I'd start to be a little bit more concerned. That's what ultimately will need to happen before any sort of global war escalates. So we're pretty fine right now. I could be completely wrong. We could all be dead tomorrow. I don't hope for it. That's always going to be a possibility, but I just don't see anything really substantial coming from this. I think at worst, we're going to end up seeing some sanctions on the United States, and what that means from there on behalf of China, that is, okay? Not selling to them anymore and then just distributing their wares across the rest of Asia and Europe, because God knows they need the help right now. But no, don't expect any bullets flying, because China's not in the position to escalate this shit. Because you take a look at who they have as allies right now, or do you think the great North Korean army is really going to make that much of a difference? Okay, I hear Vietnam's ready to go, but this is kind of few and fucking far between, if you ask me. Russia's already fighting a war on another front, and the last time they were in a big global conflict, okay, their opposition to somebody who was trying to fight another war on on multiple fronts kind of led to their ultimate defeat, thankfully, because German's far too harsh of a language for me to be speaking, okay? Well, let's get to the meat of this, okay? Let's see what's going on. China and the United States both deployed military forces to the region around Taiwan on August 1st, following Chinese threat of military attack in response to the proposed visit to Taiwan by U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. The Chinese Communist Party announced through state-owned media outlets that they would deploy forces for live fire exercises in the waters north of Taiwan. Yeah, oh no, it's just a training exercise. Don't worry about it. No cameras though. Plausible deniability if anything goes wrong. Oh yeah, she just have to go around. Don't worry about it. The exercises are the latest in a series of back-to-back Chinese drills in the region. However, they're notable that the announcement was accompanied by footage of China's DF-17 hypersonic missiles. Are those the ones that skim the ground and are virtually untraceable by conventional radar technology? I think so. Dubbed as the aircraft killer, DF-17 is a nuclear-capable ballistic missile fitted with hypersonic glide vehicle that allows its payload to glide at low orbit. Yeah, it is. Okay, at the great speed before plunging down onto its target. Footage was released this week. Marks his first time that a live-fire recording of the weapon has been released. That's not the only footage that they released. That was at least made public. The rest of it was kind of circulated around Chinese state-run social media. The United States announced that it would be moving a carrier strike group and air support closer to Taiwan, the USS Ronald Reagan. Oh, yes. One of the many presidents that were residing over Nancy Pelosi's long political career. Because this bitch has been in fucking public office, Christ on ice, since at least the 70s in State House in California, because yeah, she was one of the very instrumental people that led to the rise of Jim Jones and Jonestown, okay? Never fucking forget. So again, if anything were to happen to a United States diplomat and it ended up being Nancy Pelosi, can't really say I'd well up or anything like that, but ultimately, it's not going to happen. But yes, the U.S. Ronald Reagan, yes, it's typically stationed at Yokosuka, Japan, yes, making sure that it has a good sightline on what those Japanese fellers are doing, yes. Then to move back to the South China Sea after making a 5-day port call in Singapore last week. Oh, to bring her over? How adorable. So, Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. What the fuck is she going to be doing there? She's currently on a tour of the Indo-Pacific nations, including Japan, Malaysia, Singapore, and South Korea. Oh, unfortunately, she wasn't on that campaign stop with Shinzo Abe. Just missed an opportunity. However, it made a trip remarkable is her speculated plan to Taiwan, which has been the target of CCP military harassment and intimidation for years. You say years, I say decade, but hey, whatever. Taiwanese media outlets have reported that unidentified Taiwanese officials confirm that Pelosi is likely to stop in Taiwan on August 2nd or 3rd. Yeah, just be a little bit obscure as to when specifically she's going to be there, in order to avoid anything actually happening. The Chinese regime stated on August 1st that the military would not sit idly by if Pelosi were to visit the island. Earlier, the CCP also threatened forceful measures against the United States and Taiwan should Pelosi visit. Just one day after the threat, U.S. President Joe Biden mumbled something into his soup. Oh, I'm sorry. He said that the military believed the trip was not a good idea. They were actually remarking on the Joe Biden presidency, but whatever. The parsing of the sentence made it clear whether Biden himself believed it was a bad idea. We have no idea what Biden believes. Literally, it's impossible. It'd just be some sort of an amalgamation of different pictures from throughout his life, okay? Try to get him to articulate it is a struggle in and of itself. Or if he was merely repeating warnings given to him by military leadership. Oh, trust me, he was definitely repeating it, because right at the end of his debrief, it said, end of quote, repeat the line. Now, Pelosi subsequently said Biden may have meant that the military was concerned that China would shoot down her plane. No, it's not going to happen, okay? Unless they thought it was a kaiju coming across the water, okay? Because she does look a little monstrous. You can see in the newspaper right there. Chinese state-owned media outlets have since stated that China should do just that. If U.S. fighter jets escort Pelosi's plane to Taiwan, it is an invasion. Hu Jinji, whatever. Former editor-in-chief at state-owned Global Times wrote on Twitter. That's adorable that dude can just call for violence and be on Twitter. But again, if you post groomer on there, they'll just have you fucking yeeted from orbit. Why would they need to fire a single missile when they have all of the methods of control firmly under their thumb? Do you think that Twitter operates the same way it does throughout the rest of the world as it does on Chinese soil? Nah, I don't think so. Oh shit, it was actually removed by Twitter for promoting violence. Yeah, but is he suspended for doing that? Because that's what happens with the rest of the people that even try to use googly eyes or zeros for O's when posting OK Groomer. Just saying. Post was just the latest and increasingly bellicose and, at times, outright hostile rhetoric emanating from the regime in Beijing. They're desperate. They're incredibly desperate because, yeah, like I said, their infrastructure is dog shit, okay? The riots when it comes to the failing economy right now, they're going on. Protests are getting louder, and Xi keeps reaching in and grabbing more and more control. It's kind of like the late days of Hitler when he just started to blame all of his incompetent generals and started to seize more and more control instead of being like, oh, God, please don't take this the wrong way, but praising Stalin for a second, I know, just hold on to me for a moment here, just follow along. When he would find himself in a tough situation, he would delegate some responsibility to his other generals, and that's why he stayed in power for so long, because he had a bunch of reliable people, and you know what, hey, if they weren't, they were just removed from existence, but we all know the stories about that, okay? Xi is taking the former approach when he should be doing the latter, because China's in deep shit if you take a look under the hood. So that just all comes to, why exactly do they want Taiwan? Why does China want Taiwan? And why is it significant that Pelosi is going over to Taiwan? Well, it all comes down to what Taiwan does, okay? What do they have that is rare? What do they have that is desirable? Manufacturing capabilities. And what exactly does Taiwan manufacture that the rest of the world would really, really like access to? Semiconductors. And what's important about semiconductors? They're in literally everything. The device that you're watching this video on, okay, your cellular phone, if you're not doing that at the exact same time, anything that can take in an electric current requires a semiconductor to properly function, okay? And who has the global stranglehold on creating semiconductors? You guessed it. Taiwan, okay? And why is Pelosi going there and not the leader of the Senate, okay? Not a state secretary, or a secretary of state, sorry. Why not anybody more specific? Well, Pelosi has a specific state when it comes to the production of semiconductors and microchips in particular, okay? Nancy Pelosi had a massive amount of Nvidia stocks. If you're not on the cutting edge of electronics and computer components, the name Nvidia probably means absolutely zero to you, but they are a global leader in graphics cards specifically, okay? And graphics cards recently have been kind of shit in the bed, okay? Why? They got outrageously difficult to get and outrageously priced. Why is that? Bitcoin mining. And now, because most BTCs, okay, Now, BTC specifically, that mining, there's specific farms that are out there, and there's only a couple. It's an extremely hard startup to get into for multiple reasons. I won't even begin to know or properly articulate how difficult it is to create those farms, okay? But staying on top of that technology requires a whole host of different video cards that are out there, okay? And with cryptocurrency at large just kind of taking a shit, okay, there's fewer farms out there. There's definitely a polarization when it comes to the farming capabilities that are out there. There are the super farms, the big server farms that are thousands of fucking units deep. And then there's just, I don't know, you probably know somebody who's running a couple of different units, trying to keep the room warm when they're mining for a 10th or a 100th of a Bitcoin, okay? Most of the coins, okay, that are out there in circulation on the blockchain have been discovered already. So you're really putting in a whole bunch of resources in order to extract very, very little, even if you have the capability to do so. While everybody was mining, and while Bitcoin was 40, 50,000, or did it ever get to 50,000? I know it got to 40,000. While it was going all the way to the fucking moon, okay, everybody was trying to get in on that gag. And that's why Nvidia, okay, we're pumping out graphics cards. AMD is the other one, and then there's a bunch of affiliate ones that just kind of fucking leech off the technology that's there. So yeah, Nvidia stock was going right through the roof. It was incredibly difficult to get any of their hardware, and times were good. And who was benefiting from that? Well, Nvidia themselves, obviously, and then the semiconductor plants in Taiwan that were creating those, or allowing those chipsets that were created by Nvidia in order to operate. So why would Pelosi unload all that stock? Well, the United States signed a CHIP Act, okay? Well, what is that exactly? Where the United States is going to begin to start manufacturing semiconductors on their soil. Green energy efficiency aside, or I'm sorry, green energy policy aside, because, you know, hey, all of the mining and all of the manufacturing process when it comes to creating those semiconductors, it's not exactly the most greenest process that's out there by their standards. Okay, I could give a fuck. It just means more jobs on domestic soil, so I'm totally behind that for once. Okay, but it puts Taiwan in a very vulnerable situation because now you have an up-and-coming mega power in the United States if they have the capacity and the ability to just create these manufacturing facilities relatively quickly. So by putting Taiwan at such a disadvantage that their main export is going to be somehow undercut, that leaves the door open for invasion, something that the CCP has been waiting for a very, very, very long time. So Pelosi, somebody who might be a bit of a chip expert, or at least whoever's doing all of the buying and selling, could be her husband after all, and maybe this entire sell-off was totally by mistake right before the CHIP Act was signed, when stocks would have just hit the floor. Maybe he was drunk that evening and he was doing a little bit of evening trading, something like that. I don't know. But again, if you're married to some fucking walking mannequin fossil, you'd probably need to drink too. So specifically, what did the White House have to say? And we also got a fun little video that was posted on WeChat, Weibo, whatever it is, okay, the social media platform over there, specifically in China, okay, where Elon Musk has a presence as well. And another reason where I'm kind of half in, half out when it comes to supporting Elon Musk, because he puts up a front on Twitter, and then he's got some very, very different takes when he's on Weibo. Just saying. I've seen screenshots. White House says, we will not be intimidated by China. Okay. As it all but confirms Nancy Pelosi's Taiwan trip, John Kirby asks, what's the drama of her visit after Chinese state media issued chilling warning and Red Army posted a war video? It's a pretty cool war video, actually, if we're being completely honest, okay? We're going to watch this very, very closely. White House spokesperson John Kirby said in his daily press briefing, fucking bullets aren't flying, okay? At worst, you're going to get some sanctions. At best, another stern warning and another cool video will come out. Pelosi is believed to be arriving in Taipei on Tuesday night and is set to meet with the Taiwanese president, Xi Jinping. Unless he keeps it very, very straight and to the point. A day after landing in Singapore to kick off her tour of Asia. Chinese People's Liberation Army. Fucking naming nomenclature is ridiculous. Issued multiple warnings ahead of Pelosi's expected trip. The video was posted on WeChat. I got it right. On Monday morning, following reports that the speaker will arrive in Taipei on Tuesday night. And we actually got that video, and that's why I brought it up here. That's one screenshot from it. It kind of looks like an 80s action film. It's pretty fucking cool. Do you guys want to watch it all? Because actually, I kind of do, if we're being completely honest. Sorry if I'm spreading Chinese propaganda. Don't get too hard when it comes to this stuff. But yeah, no, I'm just going to let it play and maybe add a little commentary over top of it. But as you can see in the background, yeah, I don't know, man. I can't really take that Chinese military force all that seriously because all I see is just a bunch of Chinese men, and where's all the representation? All of the different military propaganda I've been seeing lately, it looks nothing like this. So I think that we're probably all right when it comes to this. Diversity is our strength after all. Oh my god, it's Scott Steiner. God, this is so much cooler than the rest of the shit that you'd be seeing out there. What was that fucking Cal Arts project that we seen before from the, was that the Marines? Oh, something like that. The fucking cartoon bitch. She's like, I was raised by my two mothers. It doesn't even have nearly as cool music as these fucking Chinese ones do. God damn it. What was that, a penis? Mission failed. We'll get him next time. What does that say? We support Biden? What does that say? 10% for the big guy? No, that's not gonna lie, that's pretty cool video. But yeah, no, it's definitely for the bad guys. And yeah, those red flags in the back should definitely be telling you something. But again, okay, cool. It was a military drill. What is that supposed to do? Like really intimidate us? No, it just got me fucking bobbing my head with the sweet music picks. Outside of that, though, like, come on. The old lady's just gonna shuffle into Taiwan. She's just gonna mumble fuck her way through whatever meeting she's at, and then everybody's just gonna feel drunk in her presence. Whoop-de fucking do, and then they're gonna just shuffle on into obscurity. Once we get a formal declaration, not saying this is going to happen or anything like that, okay, between China and Russia, a working partnership agreement, something to that effect, I wouldn't be too much worried about all this stuff. This is just a bunch of bloviating, really slickly produced military video, all things considered, okay? It's definitely a big step up from the late 2000s video where they just ripped off Top Gun, which, again, hey man, with Maverick still in the theaters, they definitely could have just continued on that old tradition, but, man, they got better cameras this time around, so I guess we'll have to see what goes on tomorrow. Things could be fun, or things could just be banal, but I'll be here to talk about it. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.